So you've decided or are deciding whether to take the leap of faith to come to China as a professional expat. You may have also considered or thought about, hey, should I take the effort or the steps needed to learn the Chinese language? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons on why you must learn the Chinese language as a foreign professional, coming up. Learning a new language can be pretty daunting and pretty overwhelming, especially the Chinese language, as there's so many Chinese characters, different pronunciations, and different ways of communicating. Although you can survive in China without learning any Chinese throughout your whole stay here, you end up missing out on a lot of opportunities and benefits that come your way when you learn the language. So the first reason you should learn Chinese is because life ends up being cheaper. Let me give you an example. I recently went to the dentist. I went to a public hospital that provides dental care, and no one spoke any English, and you need to make your way through the customer service all with Chinese, and end up getting a dental cleaning. The dental cleaning ended up being around 300 RMB, going through the whole process in Chinese. However, when I tried the same thing in an English-speaking facility that offers English-speaking dentists that give you English services, the cost of a dental cleaning was 1,600 RMB. So you can do the math and figure out which one is cheaper. Now, in more developed cities, you have more and more chances of running into English-speaking services, but it's still not there yet. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible to do the public services without speaking Chinese. You can use Google Translate, or you can hire a translator to come with you and kind of walk you through the area or just get a Chinese friend. But as I mentioned before, if you already know the language, it'll be cheaper for you. So the second reason you should learn Chinese is for convenience. You ever try to order a taxi in China and you couldn't tell the driver how to get to your apartment? Better yet, maybe you order some food and you're starving, and the delivery guy got lost on the way and he's calling you trying to figure out, hey, how do I get to your apartment? But you have no idea how to tell them. Better yet, you want to buy something on Taobao, you put the Chinese address on there, and then the Kuai person calls you, the delivery guy calls you and says, hey, I don't know how to get to your apartment, but I left it in this box right here, in this location. Go ahead and pick it up from there. But if you don't speak or read any Chinese, if you get it through a text message, how do you know where to go? Speaking of Taobao, I've actually made a tutorial of how to buy stuff on Taobao, not having a Chinese bank account or a Chinese address, and you can look at the link up here or in the description down below for more details. You can overcome most of these problems by either using Google Translate, being a very patient person, but ain't nobody got time for that. If you speak Chinese and you can route the person to the right direction, it saves you the time and the convenience to get stuff done. So reason number 3 to go ahead and learn some Chinese is for problem solving. Ever had to deal with customer service that didn't speak any English and you had to use Google Translate back and forth in a very timely manner just to get your point across, and you may not even get your point across? Oh, here's a good one. Ever go to a bank branch and not finish your transaction because there was a communication barrier between you and the teller? And instead of actually completing your transaction, you just went home angry and asked for your friend to help for the next time? Back to my first point, English services in China as of right now are more of a luxury, so consider the cost to be greater versus regular services. Of course, this isn't for every single business, as case by case, but generalizing, English services here tend to be more expensive. Of course, my channel provides you solutions as a foreigner to these kind of problems, but you still may encounter different problems that I may not have covered on my channel to help you out. So the fourth reason to go ahead and learn Chinese is to increase your foreigner level category according to the Chinese government. If you haven't checked my foreigner category video on how the Chinese rank foreigners, please check my video up here, or you can look in the description below at a later time. But the summarized version is that there's 3 levels in China: A, B, C, A being the highest, C being the lowest. So you can guess what one of those criteria is to determine your level as a foreigner in China. Yes, Chinese proficiency. You can max out your Chinese proficiency points by passing HSK 5 or above. Note that there's only a total of 6 levels for HSK, but if you're HSK 4 or below, you'll still get some points. What are some benefits of being a high-level foreigner? Let's say you're trying to strive for an A-level foreigner. You may be able to extend your visas for a longer time and deal with less red tape, at least face-to-face red tape for being an A-level foreigner. And if you want to apply for a green card, it may be easier, or may be able to expedite your process because you have a high-level proficiency in Chinese and you have contributed a lot to the Chinese economy. And the 5th and last reason why you should learn Chinese is for business opportunities. Do you currently sell a product that's manufactured in China, but you can't communicate with the factory when it comes to deadlines or different kind of quality and control measures? Do you want to sell items on Taobao, but you don't know how to get through it because everything's in Chinese, even as a foreigner? Everything's gonna be in Chinese if you wanna set up a Taobao store. Oh, and by the way, if a Chinese person wants to buy your products, don't expect them to speak any English. They're gonna come to you and use your chat using Chinese. If you wanna create or sell a whole new product but don't know how to communicate with the locals in order to do so in China, better yet, you want to open a company in China, and unless it's just foreign workers working in an international department, you most likely will have some Chinese employees that don't speak any English. Especially in the very established companies like Tencent and DJI, expect their R&D department to know very little English. Sure, they can read and write in English, of course, but when it comes to actually communicating, don't expect their level to be so high at first. If you don't want to miss out on opportunities to expand your business working with the Chinese locals, understanding how they think, how they do business, then you definitely need to learn Chinese. Especially if you're an international company that wants to penetrate the Chinese market, you need to learn how to speak Chinese. Now, can you survive in China with just speaking English? Of course. You can stay in your little expat bubble, whether it be business owners or English teachers, and never speak a word of Chinese and survive and still get a paycheck. Sure, it's possible. But personally, I believe you're missing out on a lot of business opportunities if you purposely avoid trying to learn the language. Recommendation is as soon as you hit ground, try and find a tutor or find some kind of a plan to start learning the language, because it takes time. If you learned something from this video, please smash that like button. If you have any comments or questions that I have not answered in this video, please write them down in the comments down below. Consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see weekly content about having a better lifestyle as a foreigner. And if you want to see exactly when I upload, hit that bell notification as well to get notified for my uploads that happen every weekend. Anyways, keep surviving, and I'll catch you in the next one.